Hello and welcome to this week's Business Tech Weekly. I'm Matt Satonga.
And I'm Tim Swainson.
So this week we want to talk to you about Cyber Essentials. We keep getting loads and loads of questions, Tim, about Cyber Essentials, and we thought it'd be a really great idea to go through the most common questions that we're getting and dispel any myths and debunk any issues and really talk and explain to everyone about what it is and how to do it and why it's needed.
Okay.
So I thought I'll start.
Go on then.
So Tim.
Yeah. All right. Yeah.
Could you tell me what Cyber Essentials is?
Oh, there's a good one to start with, isn't it? Yeah. Cyber Essentials basically is a government initiative that's really getting businesses of all shapes and sizes to take a look at the level of security that they've got, but by providing a set of key questions to make sure businesses have got the most basics in place. It's probably the way I'd sum it up.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a couple of other things. So the one thing to mention is if you want to be part of government supply chain,
of course,
then you need that certification to be able to do so. So the government are really pushing it in that respect.
Definitely. So I've got one for you then. How much would it cost a company to sort of put it all together?
Well, that really depends. So there's two types of assessment. So you've got Cyber Essentials and Cyber Essentials Plus.
Right.
I wouldn't expect to ever really pay any more than about £300 for Cyber Essentials. And Cyber Essentials Plus, which is a little bit more sort of further, more testing involved. It should be about £1,200, something like that. It kind of depends on how many computers you've got, how many workstations, how much testing they have to do. But yeah.
Okay, because that leads to quite a number of other questions, really, then, doesn't it? The testing and the numbers and all those different things. Yeah.
So basically, what's the difference between the two?
Testing. Yeah, because obviously on the basic is you're going to self-cert yourself. You go through the questionnaire, you answer the questions, you submit your response.
That's right. There is a little tiny firewall assessment. So what a company would do is they basically check your firewall from the outside, make sure that no kind of holes are open through your firewall. So there's a small kind of exterior assessment.
Yeah.
But then with the Plus, what happens is someone actually comes to your site and they'll actually assess all the workstations or a sample of the workstations on site. So if you've got 100 and they're all built the same, they might only do sort of 3 or 4, or if you've got lots of different types of setups, there might be a little bit more than that. But what they do is they'll do a virus test, make sure that the virus software is up to date and make sure that the systems that you've got in place are stopping any malware getting in on any equipment that you've got on site.
Yeah. They'll even try and go to some dodgy websites, or is that just a test we do?
I don't know.
You have to see how those machines are performing. So when they've done these scans then, or they're looking at these things you've just mentioned, does the tester carry out those scans?
Yeah, absolutely. So a tester will come on site and they'll pick some random machines or a pre-selected group of machines, and they'll actually do the tests on site there.
Okay. So the big difference there is the testing, by the sound of it.
Yeah. So Cyber Essentials, external test, nobody comes on site, very basic test just to make sure the firewall's okay. Cyber Essentials Plus, more in-depth on-site assessment of the workstations themselves.
So another question that comes up then in conversation with different companies and customers is about the different levels that are there. So do I need Cyber Essentials in addition to things such as ISO accreditations or even pen testing? Is there a different...
Well, the thing is, they're different things.
Okay.
So penetration testing is a lot more in-depth testing, right? Really, really much more in-depth. You've got a hacker using their toolkit, or an ethical hacker, using their toolkit to check whether they're able to actually get onto systems or not.
Yeah.
Whereas Cyber Essentials it really is what it says on the tin. It's the essentials. So it's the baseline really that the government think you should have to be cyber safe. I would expect that if you had like e-commerce websites or kind of systems where you've got sensitive user data, that kind of thing, that's when you need to start thinking about penetration testing. ISO have their own sort of standards around penetration testing that you need. Cyber Essentials isn't really part of that. So Cyber Essentials is for everyone, really, in addition to any other kind of compliance needs that they have, for the badge, really, to say, they're serious about cybersecurity to their customers.
So based on that, then, what would happen if somebody failed Cyber Essentials test?
Kind of depends on the company you work with. Some companies will do a free assessment. They'll just retest the bit that you failed on and do that free of charge. If it's quite a significant failure, they might have to charge you to come and do a retest. Or if it's outside of a certain time frame when you do the retest, they might say, well, after 2 weeks, you need to pay for another test, because things might change in 2 weeks.
So with all this testing then and all these things that you've got to do they have an end date on the Cyber Essentials?
So that's really an interesting question, because technically Cyber Essentials assessment, the kind of the testing, is only really valid on the day the assessor's on site, because someone could turn the firewall off the next day and there'd be a problem. So yes and no. Cyber Essentials technically lasts for the lifetime of the certificate, which could be a few years. But what we would really recommend is at least have that done once a year, so that you're having that constant check to make sure that your cybersecurity is up to scratch.
Definitely.
So thanks for that, Tim. I really hope that's answered some of the questions that you might have on Cyber Essentials. If you've got any questions that we have not covered today, then please feel free to get in touch and contact us. But that's it for this video, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Thanks a lot, Tim. We'll see you soon.
See you soon.